Welcome to Extension Gardener on the Crystal Coast. Today I want to talk a little bit about watering and setting up some kind of an irrigation system. It doesn't matter whether you water by hand with a water wand and a hose, or whether you use a watering can, or really how you water at all. Today though, I want to talk about putting together a drip irrigation system, because the most important thing is getting water to the plants. Water is very important because plants need water in order to make the fruit large, to put flavor into the fruit. So we're going to set up an irrigation system. What I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to take the irrigation system, or take this hose, and this is something you might want to do on a warm day. I'm going to roll it all the way out so that the hose lays flat. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this irrigation system in place. Since I've got it laid flat, I'm going to take it, I'm going to hold it in place with these landscape staples. Hopefully I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to hold it in place with these landscape staples. And this is why you need to keep it flat so that it doesn't pop out like that. And I'm just going to put these staples in place to keep it right along the length where I want it. Now that I have the drip hose laid out where I want it, I'm going to install this pressure reducer to reduce the pressure down to 25 psi so I don't blow too much water out. And this is what's called a quick connect. So you just push it together and it snaps right in place. I'm going to install this on the drip hose, this one on the garden hose. This way I can go from bed to bed and just quickly snap, it's in place, and it's good to go, it's ready to go. I've turned the irrigation on, and you can see with this drip hose that the water is just seeping out and it's going right down into the ground. Another type of irrigation system that I've wanted to try for a while is a drip irrigation system. And this drip irrigation system, this one here is put out by Mr. Landscaper, but there are several others available on the market. So what I need to do is I need to get a length of hose, probably about 4 feet, and cut that off. That's going to allow me to do a couple of things. One is I'm going to need to use a fitting, which is this one right here, to put onto one end of the hose, just as tight as I can. There we go. And then screw it down so that it's tight. Okay. The next thing I'm going to need to do is put the quick connect. This is how I'm hooking the irrigation system, or the water hose, to the drip line. And it would help if it was a warmer day so I could straighten this hose out a little bit better. But we'll go ahead and get started on this. What we want to do, once we've got that in place, this drip line right here has a drip every 12 inches. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure, because this bed is 4 feet wide, I'm going to measure in about 12 inches and that right there. I'm going to put a hole in the hose. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, because I have these little fittings right here. This little fitting is going to go into the hose, and that's how I'm going to connect my drip line to the water hose. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and hook the water hose up to that, flush any dirt or debris out of that water line before we get the water going through the drip hose. All right, Now I've just got a little bit of water running through the line just to keep anything from getting in there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these landscape spikes to hold the hose in place where I want it. So this one I want here, so I'm going to put 2 stakes in there because I want to make sure that it stays in place. If it was a warmer day, this would work a whole lot better because I could get that hose to straighten out and stay straight. But since it's not, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of stakes in here. Hopefully that will hold that. It's not going to work. Well, maybe it'll hold it long enough for it to straighten itself out. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to run the hose all the way down to the end, and then I'm going to put what's called a goof plug in there. And that goof plug will hold it in place. But as I go down, I'm going to use these little stakes, and I'm going to put these little stakes in the ground and clip it onto the hose so it holds the hose just a little bit off of the ground. And that way I'll know where to put my seeds for my plants that I'm going to plant just about every 2 feet along the line of this hose. Okay, so I've reached the end of the run. This is where I need to take this goof plug. It's just a plug that plugs up the end of the hose. I'm going to stick that right up in there, and that'll keep any water from coming out the end. Okay, and I'm going to put one more of these stakes in there to hold that in place so that it stays right there. Okay, that should work. Now I'm going to do the other side and then we should be done. All right, one last thing that I have to do before I can turn the water on and water my seeds. I need to crimp the end of this hose off or all the water is going to come out this end. So what I need to do is take this little piece that has 2 holes in it, slide this down over there, fold it over, and that crimps the hose off so that no water can come out, and then just slide that back up. That'll prevent any water from coming out of the hose. So now I'm ready to go ahead and plant my seed and turn the water on. All right, until next time, happy gardening.